pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
Flag
of
of the United States of America,
which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and
indivisible,
justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Knapp. Here. Mrs. Green. Here. Mr. Wright. Here. Mr. Drusel. Here. Mr. Orr. Here. Mr. Orr. The other senior. Either or. We're missing an Orr. Mrs. Miller. Here. Mr. Mayor. Here. You have a quorum, Madam President.
Minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
We'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Are there any comments or corrections? Dead silence.
That means no.
Does that mean no? Alright. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Nays? Approve the bills. We need a motion,
I'll make a motion.
a second.
Okay.
Any comments, corrections? I have one. The step ladder that we got is $300. Is that like a 8, 10?
12.
It's a 12, commercial grade. Is that what it is?
Yeah, price.
Huh?
Good price.
That's what I was asking, what it was, 10 or 12.
They were using that to put up the LED lights, right?
Yeah.
Was that what it's?
They're done, that project's done too.
And ornamental lights out front.
What's that? What's you say? Your next.
Return the ladder.
No comments or corrections? All approved? Aye. Nays?
Thank you.
All right, comments from the residents. Jake, Girard School District.
Thank you for letting me come talk for a few minutes. For people that don't know, my name is Jake Hagmer. I'm the Director of Business at Girard School District. So I'm here today because there was a grant opportunity. Just want to see if you guys would be able to support, because the district can't apply on its own, and we need the municipality to sponsor us. So I'm just going to give you some back history how we got to this. In December, the district started working with a grant writing service and to help us find funding opportunities with the service, with their focus being in 3 areas of facility improvements, mental health initiatives, and security grants. Sorry for my voice, the weather got me. But so I'm here to obviously ask the Borough Council if they would be willing to sponsor the district and apply for the DCED Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant, which offers awards up to $250,000. We're looking to use that grant as a way to upgrade a portion of the tennis courts on campus. I felt like this is a good fit because in that grant you have to have obviously community and it has to be open to the public, which, if you know, those courts are open, minus maybe after Friday night, after a football game, it might be locked because of not letting people sneak in the back way, but most likely they are unlocked the next day unless they forgot. But so we thought this would just be a good way, since it's always open. I always see people there once the weather turns nice and not snowy. And then we thought this would be a good grant, or at least I found this to be a good grant because it's community accessible facility. And you know, without the grant, we might not get to that because of other different stuff that we're looking. So I saw an opportunity. I also, in a grant a couple years ago that was related to COVID money, I applied for. I put the tennis courts in, I put the track, and I put lights at the soccer field. That got denied, but I was trying to find a way because that was again a tight community. So, and all those are used by the community. The track is used by the community. So I was just trying to find a way to upgrade our facilities, and I thought this would be a great one. So I began the conversation with Rob just to see if the borough would be interested and if I could come talk. So after talking talked with the state and our grant writer. The borough would serve as the official applicant, and if awarded, the funds would flow from the state to the municipality, then to the school district. And the state said that they would need a cooperation agreement between the borough and the school district. So that's where I am today.
Jake, is this a cooperation, is a regular form on this one, or is it just a letter of support?
I believe there's gonna be a thing which I will work on getting all the details. If you guys are gonna do it, I'll try to take as much work off you guys that you don't have to do. Like, we'll write the grant and everything. I just need your guys' help with maybe using your name, your EIN number, stuff like that. But we'll try to keep the work out of the borough as much as possible. It would just be like the district fine.
This is for 250, you said?
The max, yep.
Is a matching one?
It is a matching one.
Where's the first 250 come from?
The 250 would be the grant. So my goal is, obviously, I still have to talk to the school board, but I wanted to talk to you guys to see if you guys would be willing, because if you guys aren't, then I'm dead in the water. Like, I can't apply for it. So I started here. So my timeline was to talk to you guys, see if you guys would be open to it. I have a meeting next week. I was going to talk to them just to see where they're at, how much we're willing to spend.
How much does it cost to repair the fence courts?
So I got from HRLC Architects, they gave me an estimate. So for 3 courts, which is 1 bank, it's $342,000. And he estimated for 1 court, if you just did 1 court at a time, it's like $100,000.
So, I drove by there today, so it looks like, there's 2 courts maybe, right?
There's 2 banks of courts, 3 on each one.
Oh, there's, okay, 1, 2, 3,
And then
1, 2, 3.
yep.
So the total for the whole project was what again?
So it would just be for 1 bank is $342, because for the whole thing, do both of them would be like $700,000. But I'm just looking at what I could get accomplished within the grant amount.
Okay. So, what was the total again?
It was a roughly 342.
So,
Is this a total tear down and redo or just resurface?
It would be take it off as long as the sub base is not compromised. So right now, what I'm looking at is out of the 2 banks, it'd probably be the pickleball court ones at the pickleball, because I think there's sub-grade damage on the other one, which that wasn't in the cost, and that would be like another $50,000 per court on that. So I was just looking to see where can I apply the money to the best place, and that.
Will they accept the in kind?
There's a variety in the grant application. Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you gone through various stages of your estimate as to do it right, the whole thing, do it right, to do part of it, do it right?
So yeah, to do it right would be the 342 to do all 3 courts in that 1 bank.
But you're only talking about doing 1. You're not talking about doing 2. So
Yeah, there's 2 banks. Yeah,
I understand. The 342 is your max.
that's what it's estimated. Now, obviously, you don't know what the actual cost would be until you're out the bid. But yeah,
Totally get that.
Yep.
You mentioned pickleball courts. Do you foresee the availability of pickleball courts as part of your project, which could certainly really interest, I would think, us for the benefit of the community, and makes a lot of sense actually to do both there. Do you have any thoughts? Well, yeah, I know, but you're going to keep it.
yeah. You guys put like the community pushed to have the courts at. I don't see it going away. Especially, I was there, I think in the fall or something. Someone came knocked on the window on a Saturday, Sunday, because the gates were locked, and they saw my car out front, so I was working. So, I mean, I see it every day I drive by. And so I was just coming because I know I'm just always looking for opportunities. Like,
so Jacob, if 342, is that how you said?
yep,
So 342 is the whole project?
it's for one
No,
one
one
bank.
bank.
Yep. Well, that's what they asked me. Obviously,
And if we give if you get the 250 grant,
Mhm.
and the district comes up with 250, because that's, correct me if I'm wrong, it matches
it's a 15% match.
15%.
Yeah. So even with the 15%, gets me right about. I would have to do 292.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, if you guys are going, that's where I would have the conversation with the board. How much are we willing to pay to get this done, or do they not want to do it? But I can't even apply for the grant without your guys' support. So
I always like to see the entire project. I don't like to piecemeal it.
Right.
If you're gonna do both banks, but
Exactly.
I would pitch
I would like to do
I
both,
would pitch
but
the districts on both banks.
yeah, I don't think we couldn't do both with all all the other needs we had. Like, I only reason, to be honest, I look at doing the tennis court is because there's a grant to help apply for it. If I couldn't have a grant, that's why I believe those repairs to those courts will probably just be pushed down the road because we have other needs that we need to do.
And you talked about the track. Did the track get a grant for that? Or-
No, we did not. And that's another big ticket item coming down the road. Look, I think that's in good shape, like the sub base, as long as we don't wait too much longer. But we were hoping to get a grant, we didn't get it, so we painted the lines to.
I walked the track. It's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. A lot of people who we've had to come out, they said the track's in good shape. There's not grass growing up, so that means
Yeah.
the sub base is not compromised. Knock on wood. So let's hope that lasts a little longer. But
When's your deadline?
so it's not. So the deadline's May 31st. So that's why we have plenty of time. That's why I just wanted to come talk to you. So my timeline was to kind of talk to you guys, see if you guys would be interested in sponsoring us, and us kind of applying under you guys. And talk to the school board. Hopefully on Monday. If not, it would be the April workshop, which is April 9th, I think, or 16th. There would be, you guys would have to approve an authorization official statement. So if everything works, I was thinking you guys could approve that in April at your guys' meeting, which I'll help get it all set up and ready for you guys. And then, have everything, and if I need anything, just kind of work back and forth with you guys for what I need for the grant application.
This is all online through the PCED?
Yep. And our grant writer will help us write it, so that's.
Have we done this before?
We haven't, but this is gonna be a good project for them, even if they are not able to do both banks. By doing one solid bank and not breaking it down into one court at a time, by doing one bank at a time, they're supporting what you're saying, like, let's do it right if we're doing it.
Yeah, or
Right.
there's no
And they
sense
could
in doing
apply
it.
in the future for the other bank.
And like, there's another grant that our grant writer company's finding that's only 30,000. Like, I'm gonna apply for as many things as I can to help us, help offset the cost of anything.
What's that?
So I would recommend the council to approve, so that they can move forward. Tell them to hang up on the call.
So one more time, Jacob.
You want to hang up with me?
It's the whole.
Yeah.
Three. We're
Yep.
doing stack three.
That's what I'm thinking of recommending, just because I believe the front one has more sub base, which is gonna cost more. I would love to do those ones too, or do that, but I think that's gonna cost more in the long run. So I think we could get away with, obviously the architects, they kind of have some numbers. There might be a little high, but based off their things, but hopefully there's no sub base damage on that back court that it would,
Hello.
no additional cost.
You're back,
that
Joe.
we can see coming down.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's why I don't know where the school board kind of is, how much they want to spend. But, I know if you get the 15 match, you get the full $250,000, the total would be like 290 something, which is close to that 300, 342. So
The front court, that's not repairable. I mean, what do you mean, do they?
So because there's some cracks and heaves, so that kind of tells you there's probably some sub base damage. And Chris at HRLC, he kind of estimated from a different job that it's like $50,000 per court for sub base, and there's 3 courts there, so it could be up to another $150,000. Obviously, this is all going to bid out, so those numbers could change or come in better. So
I see people playing out there, thinking, I can be playing with cracks and these uneven subnet.
right.
If I was playing, I'd aim right for that spot, right? You gotta never be able to return it.
Well, and I don't know where those cracks are. I just know our maintenance supervisor told me there was some cracks in the front bank closer to the parking lot. And I was like, well, I don't,
What exactly do you need from us tonight?
I really, if you guys are willing to sponsor us, that's all just the nod that you guys are okay to sponsor, and that I can move forward with getting my school board's permission and starting to work on the grant application.
I think we need a motion to approve.
Well, I would certainly make a motion that we participated as a sponsor, but did you have a comment?
I would say a couple of things. So, as long as we're not applying for a
Right,
grant
we're
in
not.
the same program.
That was my other question coming out to you guys, because I know you guys, if you guys are applying, then I was gonna step away, obviously.
It's not that one.
Okay.
It's TCNR.
Okay.
Still
The,
make receipts.
I know.
the cooperation agreement between the borough and the school district will be very comprehensive because the borough as applicant, and if you receive the money as grantee, the requirements will be very onerous, very specific. Any defaults
It comes back on us.
comes back on us that we would pass on to the school district. So match requirements, reporting requirements, if there are auditing requirements.
Right.
So all of that would be encompassed in this cooperation.
We'd still
I
have a
presume.
we would have to do the closeout report.
Well, and I believe our grant writing service will help do all
They'll help
that.
us in
Yep,
the
so that's,
closeout.
yep, and so, and like I said, if you guys gave me the nod, I will, the other thing I was gonna email the state is if they had a sample of one that they used in the past that I could give for cooperation. I didn't wanna create the wheel, I didn't have to, but then like even that, and I can share that as soon as I get it, and then even our solicitor can help write it and stuff, if there's anything that needs to be added. And then have you guys look at it, obviously, it has to be a mutual, agreement.
Well, I would reinstate my motion that we act as sponsor here. I think it's in our best interest as a community to help the school district bring those, tennis courts up to par.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Very good, sir.
All right, thank you so much.
You'll have to get back to us now.
I will be in touch.
Sure, you did.
I will be in touch. Thank you so much.
If you're not required to stay, you can go. if you want.
Thank you. I'm gonna go see my little kid. Thank you.
David Jeffrey.
I'm David Jeffrey, and I live over on Overland Avenue. And I really don't want a reputation of being a complainer, so I'm gonna mix some positive things and then some maybe negative things. I thought the borough crew did a great job this winter clearing snow. I was hoping they were done, but who knows how that's gonna work. Last fall, Rob, and I'm assuming the council at that time, sent out this brochure explaining all the changes to pricing that came out. So I was delighted to see that, because I know a lot of municipalities just kind of slip it under the rug and hope nobody sees it to do that. But I do have some concerns about it. And part of that concern is for retired people who are living on Social Security. I don't know what the Social Security numbers are for Girard residents, but across the US, the average is $2,000 a month. So all seniors got a raise this winter of 2.8%, which was $56. So that was the increased money that they got. But if you look through this brochure, and I'm going to read through each of these, the electric went up 14%. And I understand things go up. The water rate went up 10%. The sewer rate went up 4%. The local real estate tax went up 53%. Waste management went up 20%, and I was glad to see that, I don't know if it was negotiated or given, Waste Management said if you're a senior, you can get a $10 discount. So it only went up 10% rather than 20%. And if you add all those increases together, that more than blows out any senior's $56 increase. And I happen to volunteer at the Christian Cupboard that hands out local food. And there are lots of seniors who are just barely scraping by, even by a choir. So what I would hope is, can't change what's already done, but this council would be cognizant of the fact that these increases have an impact, particularly on senior citizens who are on fixed incomes, who can't suddenly say, well, I'll somehow make up to do that. So that was a concern that I had.
May I add one thing too that you forgot about that, is that our insurance also went up.
Oh, yeah, everything else is going up.
Right, so that $50-some that they gave us, our insurance went up $30-some. So
Yeah. So seniors are getting squeezed, and that makes it a challenge when almost everything is going up along the way. I'd like to talk a little bit about the honey locust trees. And I was delighted to see that in minutes, it appears the borough has rejected the 67 is correct, that means if that bid held, we would be spending almost $600,000 to remove these trees. That's a big chunk of change that the borough's spending. Now, I'm not a botanist, but my research says that mimosa webworm does not damage these trees. It may look a little not pretty, but it does not damage the trees, and very rarely is that an issue. And I hate to create more work for the borough people, but it's my understanding that they form like a clump. You can cut them off and destroy those, and the borough maintenance crew can come around and pull those off the trees, cut them off, and have an incinerator or burn them or somehow get rid of them. And that means we won't have to eliminate 267 trees, or somewhere around $600,000 to do that. And I have both of my properties. I've got one of those trees. Yeah, they're nasty with the sidewalk, and I'm hoping that down the road the borough finds some other kinds of trees that they can put in place. I don't know. I have some thoughts, but unfortunately, the borough's planted Norway maples, which are considered an invasive species, and they're terrible, and they're dying off. The red version of those, the Crimson King, also is being affected by the maple disease, and they're dying off, and they're terrible on sidewalks. Two that I'm familiar with is the serviceberry, which is a Native American, and there's the Japanese lilac tree that both are recommended for placement between sidewalks and streets. But I'm just concerned spending all that money to cut down these trees. If the worm is not going to kill it, it just makes it maybe a bit of a nuisance. So that's my thought on that. The other thing I have is, I think last time I heard was sometime in the fall, the Moorlight building, also known as the old wrench factory, is continuing to fall in decay. There is a door on the north side that had a glass window, which was shattered for a while. It's gone now. So any of the kids who want to get in that building just have to reach through the window, because it's a big glass panel in the door, and open it. And the kids have been in there. I've seen them going in, going out of that building. I don't know what all is in there, but I gotta believe it's unsafe, because the roof is falling in. There are sections where the roof is now gone. And I'm just kind of asking if maybe the council could push, I guess it's the Model Works that owns that building now, could push it in some direction. Either they have covered up some of the damaged windows, but there were a whole more. When I went by the other day, I'm not sure there's any glass in that building anymore that's not been broken and damaged. So I'm just hoping something could be done with that facility along the way. A positive, the new entrance Girard is fantastic, to see the park and all that. But what I'm wondering, and I don't know if the police or Bob or somebody could talk to Country Fair and say, how about somebody in your facility picks up these cars instead of blowing? These were all picked up on the grounds of the park about a week ago when the weather cleared out. So I'm not going to count them. Somebody asked, is there any values? I have no idea. So I don't know if people leave them with a few pennies on them. Yeah, they're the gas cards.
They put them on top of the gas tank.
Throw 'em on the ground.
Like collection box.
Yeah.
And then they just blow away, yeah.
And then they just blow away. So if something could be done with those, because the park looks really nice. So it's.
Ask you a question. Ask you a question. Did you go over your numbers again?
Which one would you like?
200,000 to 600,000?
Okay. The bid was 80,000. This is for the trees.
Yes.
Okay. If I added up the bid for cutting, removing, and I think the stumps, it was in the last board meeting.
Right.
It came to about $80,000.
Okay.
And that was for 36 trees.
Okay.
Okay. If I take 267, which is the number that I've seen published, number of trees, divide that by 36, that leaves 7.416 times. So we have to do that almost 7.5 times. If I take 80,000 times 7.416, that's $593,280 to remove all 267 trees. Because I didn't see anything in the minutes or notes that we're removing damaged trees. We're just saying, hey, it's a honey locust, so we're gonna cut that one out. So I'm assuming you're gonna have to do them all along the way.
I think you assumed right.
But if it's not killing the trees, my question is, why are we removing them? Why can't we attempt, and I understand not spraying chemicals, I'm not in favor of spraying a bunch of chemicals on trees. When kids walk on the sidewalks to do that, but I think there's a way to physically remove the worm clumps, because they form kind of like a nest on the tree. And then just cut those off and incinerate them.
Well, if we cut the nest off this year, they can come back next year.
Oh, if you don't get them all, yeah, it's an ongoing process. But if you're looking at almost $600,000, you can pay an awful lot of crew, and I'm assuming we have a crew, and they can do it when they're not forced to do other things. I'm assuming they were busy doing electrical stuff this past weekend, not asking them to do it then, but in the time that might be a little slack, to just go around and the ones that form. And I'll be honest, I didn't see any of that nesting last year. I didn't see it in my trees. I didn't see it in any of the other trees that were here. I know it's, I guess, coming to this part, but I don't know, have anybody seen them
They
remove
were
them
identified by the state forester on Rice Avenue.
on Borough trees, or just in the western county?
On Rice Avenue.
Okay. So anyway, that,
I think your comments are well taken and well reasoned. The only comment I would make relative to your initial remarks concerning the seniors is we do feel that, but you do understand that any budgetary decisions, billing decisions, and any increases are predicated on what we have to pay for those services.
Oh,
We're not making money on that. We're crediting one. And so, yes, we understand the dilemma. It's a terrible dilemma. But it's not like we're cavalierly saying we want this increase to occur because we need more money for this, that, or the other thing. It's simply
and
treading
I
water,
understand.
and I hope you understand.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, in light of the future, every year, there's a budget for that.
And I think we really understand that, and I think that we've made some really hard decisions in the past concerning what we want and what we want to do and when we want to do it. And so your remarks are clearly appropriate and very much appreciated. But we do understand that very much.
Yeah, and I understand this is a new council, and a new president, but I just wanted to remind people to be aware of that along the way.
Well, coming, we appreciate hearing from you.
Okay.
Dave, thank you for
Thank you.
picking up those cards. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
If you ever
Boy,
see
so
Dave
fun.
Bennett through the borough, he usually has all his hands are full of garbage that he's been.
I know.
Dave's gonna tell you,
He's been doing that for as many years as I can remember.
And he's an Iroquois High School graduate.
Dave, they think that I am you. Hey, George, I saw you picking up trash the other day running through town. I said, that's not me.
David has more hair than you, George.
I know.
True anymore.
Okay, on to committee reports. Go right ahead, I'm sorry.
Remember me?
Who are you? Yeah, tell us who you are.
Your packet this month has an incident report for 2025 for Dover Homes. And there's just a couple of things that I want to point out on that report. You'll see that there were 84 false alarms. Several years ago, council passed a resolution to have a fine for habitual false alarm violators. And I think if I remember right, there were around 3 false alarms, and more than that, you pay $100 each time to the fire department. So that 84 Dover Hose is very aware of that resolution, knowing that, false alarms in the borough are susceptible to fines.
Who sends out a letter to these people, or how is this implemented?
That's the problem. Of these 84, there are no violations that qualify for that in the borough. 95% of these false alarms are in Fairview Township, at the same places.
In Fairview Township?
Yeah, you need to get Fairview Township to help you out with that.
They also, yes, it's not gonna happen. Right. But we have discussed that. They aren't really collecting much of anything on false alarms.
Right.
They're a real nuisance. I get the reports on my phone, and it's the same. I could name 6 places that false alarms are very common. They're usually smoke alarms. And we suit up and go. We have no choice. We have agreed with Fairview that we will help cover those type of incidents. So, but I just want you to be aware that when you see that 84, and we do have that resolution, that it's just not a borough problem. Yeah. There are several things I point out. I was hoping that our chief president Schultz would be here tonight because he could comment on some of these things. But I would like to point out that down below vehicle responses, number 546, the QRS call. QRS stands for Quick Response Service, and that vehicle is the former police car, former Ford police car that council sold for $1 to Dover Hose many years ago. And that quick response means that it is fully equipped with first aid equipment, and it goes often. You can see we had 86 calls in 2025. So that's when the time came for council to make the decision to allow Dover Hose to acquire that vehicle virtually for free. I did pay $1, by the way. It was a difficult decision. That vehicle has been extremely costly to Dover Hose in so many ways. And sometimes it's been used just to take a crew of 3 or 4 guys to training. Sometimes they go to very highway or various places, even Butler, for training. So in the old days, they would take a fire truck. And so it's been very, very cost effective. And that was a difficult decision at that time. Peter, I think you remember that one.
There was the West County one that was a little tougher for me.
Yeah, that was exactly. That was another
I think your car was fine.
I just like to point out MVA stands for motor vehicle accident, in case you didn't know that. And there are a lot of EMS calls, listed 807. Those calls, I don't know the percentage, but most of those are handled by the West Bank Fairways. As you know, we pay, and actually it's in, I believe it's in this month's packet, the bill to the West Bank Fairways of $34,000. There's a per capita, which breaks down to $8 of that. It's a $12 per person. $8 of that is for advanced life service, and $4 is for basic life service. Advanced life requires a paramedic instead of just someone who can actually administer drugs and do things at a much higher level than an EMT. I think that's all I have. If you have any other questions on this report, I'd be happy to try to explain the best I can or get an answer from you. Thank you.
That's great.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm just here because my wife threw me out.
Did she throw you out there? Okay, we'll go on. The West County,
I got
nothing? Star, West County, nothing? Okay, administrative reports. Wow.
Item number 1 is ordinance 762. This was brought up at the meeting last month. So, ordinance 762, this is the 1 megawatt agreement with Grid from their Bright Mountain Solar Project, which is located in eastern Kentucky. The purchase agreement actually starts January 1, 2028, with an average price of $65 a megawatt and a term of 25 years. I respectfully request council to vote in favor of ordinance 762.
I'll second it.
No comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance 763, once again, this was also discussed at the last council meeting. This is a 0.03 megawatt agreement. This is for the Potomac Energy Center. This combined cycle plant is in the PJM Virginia Dominion Zone. Purchase agreement is planned for June 1 of this year, with a term of 15 years and an average price of $63.11. I respectfully request council to vote in favor of ordinance 763, sorry.
Somebody make a motion. Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
No names?
Item number 3 is the regionalization resolution. We talked last meeting about the kickoff meeting for the regionalization through DCD. So this resolution authorizes participation in the Governor's Center for Local Government Services Technical Assistance Program to explore the creation of a regional police department and authorizing the borough manager to execute a letter of understanding.
Is this
I'll make that
We
one.
need a motion.
motion? Okay.
I thought I'd wait,
Huh?
I was waiting for you to say, do I have a motion?
Does somebody want to make a motion? All right. We have a first and a second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? None? Okay.
Item number 7, so this is the reissue of the tree bid, March 13, 2026 at 10 a.m. The tree removal bids were open, and the results are the following. Bentley Tree was the only bidder, $72,700 for the tree. The stump was $11,800, and the reclamation was thrown in.
So question there, what was the tree price again?
$72,700.
So back in February, the tree price was $62,118.
Yeah.
So it went up 10,000 over a month. Was there a reason?
$10,581.51.
What about the stump? What was that?
The stump was at $68.69.
So that was down a little bit, right?
Yes.
And,
Now thrown in with the package.
and so the total package before I have a new phone, otherwise it would add it up with 62,118.
It will go out operated, what are you talking about?
So it's 62,118 plus 10,031 plus 68,69. What are those numbers?
$79,300.
So 79,300. And now we're at
$84,500.
so over a month it went up $5,000. Is there a big reason for that?
$5,200.
Think of a reason for that, or just?
Well, one of the things I think was that this time engineer Mark Court put together the bid, and he actually had better L&I numbers, meaning they were unfortunately worse.
Prevailing wage.
The prevailing wage numbers come from labor and industry, and it was the numbers that I was given was actually less of a selection, whereas I think the list that Mr. Corey had was actually more comprehensive and pinpoint more what the wages should be. So he had to select from those. He has to pick from the numbers that L&I provides, and he has to substantiate.
So had we not put together such a detail,
We wouldn't have known.
But we would have gotten a better price, or would we have?
That's one of the things, I'm not too sure exactly what effect it had on it, but yeah, the overall cost this time is up.
So J. Thomas and Tree, they didn't, what happened there? 'Cause you-
I don't know, but they were on our street, so what I'm saying, they were around.
You were gonna talk to us.
Is that the one? Yeah,
We
they
had
were.
no local tree companies like Blair's or George's buddy Brian Miller or, you know, and just seemed to be advertising.
It was advertised.
I don't, just, it seems like one of them would have been on just through local.
We advertised it twice, so, I mean, the first time it was through the West County News Journal, the second time it was through Erie Times.
And I just wrote these notes down here on the trees, and you can refresh my memory. With that kind of price, I think, you know, Dave touched on it. Do we need to do as many trees as we're doing? And by doing less trees, maybe we save some money, right? We come back to doing the trees that are really necessarily needed now, and come back and do the other ones later. Are we really in a hurry to chop down all these trees, or, and going back, so the reason why are we, refresh my memory, why are we cutting them down? Because of the worms, because of the sidewalks, because of what was it? That,
Yeah, so the trees that were selected this year were the ones that were, for the most part, confined around that Rice Avenue, across from the library, where they were
Right.
where there was noticeable damage to the trees. And I'm not an arborist either, but those trees did have some substantial damage to them. Maybe it wasn't caused by the webworm necessarily, but I know the one that was owned by Miss Ratzenberger on Hathaway was actually oozing something. And strangely enough, the other
sidewalk problem too, didn't you?
well,
Hers
those,
was a tree.
the trees do cause both sidewalk and street damage. And I'm happy that you brought that up, because I think we're all more familiar with it than maybe other people in the audience, but they do cause a lot of other damage, to both the street and to the sidewalk. As a matter of fact, one of the trees that blew over last night was one of those honey locusts. And there was another honey locust that actually caught fire that the fire department put out last night. So the trees have been causing other damage, and I think the webworm was mostly just the last straw of the situation. And we
Didn't
don't.
we say it was some in Fairview?
When the state forester came out, he noticed webworm damage in all of West County. But when he got here, he noticed it specifically where we had pointed out, which was in that area right across from the library.
So because of the high cost and the high bid, and you feel that it's necessary to cut down as many trees this year, or do you think we
So this
should take
year,
another look at it and say, hey, instead of 36, let's do 15, and let's revisit again next year, or you say, cut them all down?
I would say that's up to you. The reason that we selected these trees this year was to try and hedge our bets on the infestation, thinking if we could get these trees down this year, where the infestation seems to be located, maybe going forward we could pick less trees or more trees, depending on how the budget works out in other situations. And also, we never know if a grant might become available that might include tree removal. I don't know if that's something that the Erie Community Foundation would ever consider or not.
We can ask Rachel.
But for this year, that was the main reason why those trees were all selected. But ultimately, it's up to council.
Right.
I mean, what is your tolerance for the people that have the infestation? These webworms, they're not tent worms. These webworms will attach to your home. They will attach to your car. They will attach to the windows of your home.
They get into your car. Sue Vanasak, huh?
She was one of the people that complained. She's like, I can't believe these things are attaching to my car and to my home. And quite honestly, with tent worms, I mean, we didn't know anything about it. Tent worms don't do that, which is why we called the state forester. And, you know, when Forester Laskowski came out and he was looking at it, he knew right away what they were.
My guess is there are limits what we're going to pay, you know, so if next year this is $120,000 for 30 trees, yeah, we gotta cut them all down. You know, is there a point when you say, it just doesn't make sense to pay an exorbitant amount of money to cut down X number of trees that maybe could not be cut down for a couple of years or stretch it for a little bit, or
I understand what you're saying, and the answer to that is, of course, yes, we can do whatever council wants.
I just wanna say is, I think we all can remember, almost every meeting, we had somebody here complaining about the locust trees and the sidewalks. And so, I mean, that's why we looked into this. I guess it was my concern that we only had one bid. And, you know, I personally, met with Jake, Thomas from Thomas Tree Service in Fairview. Out of the 36 trees, 9 of them are so encapsulated with our power lines that they're not impossible to take down, but without the borough's help, they couldn't even take 9 of the 36 down. And when they were looking at them, there were sparks flying from the tree rubbing on the power line and pulling it. It's unsafe. So those type of trees have to be marked. And then I will just say, you know, for however the bid went out, if the address was listed where the trees were to come down, there might be 3 in the curb line. They weren't marked. You know, there was no red ribbon around them or anything. So they were kind of like, was it this tree or that tree? So I think that's what led to Jake Thomas saying, I don't want to bid, because one, without the borough's help, he felt uncomfortable taking down 9 of the trees. It's complicated. And we have people coming in every month, not this month, you know, David talked about the trees and the expense of them, but every month we had somebody coming in complaining about their sidewalk and the tree damage that it was causing.
Right.
And I think the borough planted this honey locust in good faith 50 years ago that was the tree to plant. And 50 years later, it was definitely not the tree to plant.
I went by Lake Street, and I think there were 3 trees by the high school, and I didn't see any damage on those trees. You know, I mean, so in other words, if you're coming from Pine Tree, I'm assuming these are the 3 that are taken out. There's a parking lot, and there's 1, 2, 3 trees, then there's the entrance to the parking lot. And those trees look perfectly healthy. To me, they didn't look like they were a diseased tree, so I don't know why they were.
Were they on the list?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
You looked at the bid list?
Oh, I saw that, yeah, I believe those were on the list. I'm not 100% sure, but it said Girard High School property. You know which one I'm talking about, Rob, or you know which one I'm talking about, Dennis? The 3 trees there.
So there were other trees other than the honey locust, and those would be part of the regular tree program. And those trees might have something like, you know, we call it crotch rot. I don't know what the actual technical term is, but the tree's dying basically from where the limbs form a V, if you would, and it creates rot within the tree. And those are some of the things that Dennis is very familiar with. 36 years with the borough now, Dennis?
No, 34.
Okay, I'm off by 2 years. Still, I mean, Dennis has been here longer than I've been alive, so.
You wish.
Gene, if I may.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just looked up how big these trees get, and then, if you remember, I did this before when I was on council. They grow to 60 to 80 feet, and they can grow in ideal conditions to 100 and 120 feet. You want to see what that looks like? I have 3 of them in the back of my yard in the canal. And by the time they get that age, they have fallen down, they're hollow, and we're just waiting for the next storm to be things that fall with me that are still up. And if I go back about maybe 4 or 5 years, I remember calling the borough on a day that was totally quiet, there wasn't a breath of wind. And I was driving down the street, stopped talking to a neighbor, and I heard a big sound, the ground shook. And I didn't know what it was, we left, my wife called me. One of them fell over and went across the tracks, and I had to call the borough, they called it, the railroads cut it down. These trees, they call them widow makers for a reason. I'm not against trees, but I don't think it's an ideal tree. And I think if you don't pay now, you're gonna pay later much more in utility costs and everything else, because these things will not stop growing under ideal conditions.
This family tree is all honey locust, that's what this bid was for, right?
There was some other trees on there, there was a few on there that were part of our standard tree program
Oh,
that were also being removed.
We don't necessarily have to spend this amount every year.
What's a
This
bit,
is the window.
or might be more next year, that's the point, that was my point. Is there a limit to what we're gonna spend? If we say we're gonna do 30 every year, well, next year instead of 84, now it's 100.
It does make sense to evaluate it every year. And I don't.
Well, I totally, I mean, you look at last month and this month, and you can see that, that didn't help us at all monetarily. I mean, and I don't think it's gonna help us anymore as we continue to delay if we delay. So I think we ought to bite the bullet and do it this year, and then, reevaluate next year. That's my thought.
You said the concern was with 9 of them, they're in the power lines, so that's why maybe the one didn't go with a bid, was just a concern of that. So it's not specifically just the work, it's this work this time, yeah.
But there's definitely more than 9 trees that we wanna take down that are involved in power lines, I mean, clearly.
They were just totally
This happens to be what, the area that we're focusing on this year. But yeah, I mean, I think we could debate this till the cows come home, but, I think that, this is one of those things that, you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I think, leaving them up and giving them the opportunity to do even more damage is not a good decision.
If you could look at those 3 and let me know on Lake Street, I'd be curious to know what those 3 trees are, because I think they look pretty healthy.
Yeah. Does he usually do the stuff every week?
Yes.
Oh, he does. All right, so, does somebody wanna make a motion,
I'll make that motion,
accept the tree bid of 84,500?
as listed in item 7 of the borough manager's report.
Right. Is there a second?
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Passes.
Judy, can I just make one comment?
Yes.
That Bentley bid had a math error in favor of the borough of $800, so the unit price per tree, if we played that out for 36 trees, would actually come up to $800 more than the 84.5, but that error is on,
Our side.
right, so the error is on the contract, so he will get 84.5, not 86.3. Work out if you work out the math for 36.
So what we have posted 84.5, that's what we're gonna pay.
When he's all done with 36
Yeah.
trees, he's getting
We're gonna only get that.
correct.
All right, that's all, okay.
And then maybe to answer George's question on Lake Street, there are 4 trees on Lake Street, George, on the following addresses: 1205 Lake Street, 1 tree; 813 Lake Street, 2 trees; and 715 Lake Street, 1. So I'm not sure if those are down near the high
What
school.
was the one at 1205?
1205.
1205,
Is there 1 tree or 3 trees?
1205, 1 tree;
That's just high school.
That's the high
813,
school.
2 trees; 715, 1 tree.
Well, and then also, if you're finished, I want us to replace those trees with the program that we have going to do that. I don't want that just to be bare land. I think that needs to be dealt with as well.
Okay,
Nobody's got a lot of bare space. Right?
Do You right now.
Number 5.
Okay, item number 5, is the leaf pickup schedule. Once again, there's 6 pickups. The first one is May 14th. Rest, we have listed everything we put onto the spring newsletter. I also believe we'll post this on the billing. So, but May 14th is the first of the leaf pickups. Same as always, clear bags. Waste manager will pick them up in the morning. Please pick them up the night before. It's unlimited for the leaf pickup. Item number 6 is the compost area. Gary Cooper's once again working at the compost area. It's gonna open April 4th. It's always 9 a.m. to 3:30. And typically we shut down around mid-December.
Okay, this April 4th, that's Good Friday, isn't that what we discussed?
That's Holy Saturday before Easter Sunday.
Oh,
It's
it's Saturday,
yeah,
how are we
Saturday.
doing?
Saturday and Sunday every weekend.
Oh, okay, so we didn't do the Good Friday, okay.
But he will be there on Easter. Mr. Bonnie will hide some eggs for him.
Yeah, right.
Water flushing, so the water flushing did begin today. Yes, they do flush when it's raining. Tomorrow we'll find out if they flush when it's snowing. Number 8, Public Works. Leah Griffin will apply for her CDL permit and will attend classes to attain her CDLB. Tony DeFucci, this will be his first year. He will attend the AMP lineman training October 5th and 26th. Terry Jackson and Dylan Baker, both second year, will attend AMP lineman training August 17th and 28th of 2026. And the AMP lineman training flyer will actually feature a picture of Dylan Baker from last year. So the guy's been riding pretty hard. But it's a pretty cool picture of Dylan climbing a pole from last year. And a nice honor for him and for the Girard Borough. So if you see Dylan, be sure and congratulate him. I know he'll appreciate that. Item number 9, the fishing derby. The passing of Lee Weaver from the Elk Valley Sportsman Club. The fishing derby will be continued by the Lake City volunteer firefighters. That's Saturday, April 11, 2026 at 1 p.m. Madam President, I would request an executive session for legal matters, please.
Was it rain or shine for them?
It is.
Or snow.
Have you been
But you're too
contacted
old to
to
participate.
be down there or anything as
Too
far as?
old.
training?
Not yet,
That's what I
Rob
was-
gave you the contact number, I'm gonna get a hold of them and get that all set up.
Who did?
Rob,
Oh, okay, to have somebody down there,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's,
we're down there every year regardless, but,
oh, okay,
I'll get in touch with them too.
oh, okay, alright. Okay, we'll go around with any comments. You don't have anything? I'm gonna mark it down.
It's never had.
I don't think so.
Doug,
No, ma'am.
George?
Backhoe? I saw it somewhere here.
Oh,
Backhoe?
yeah, back.
It's back.
It's back,
We didn't get the bill yet, so I don't have anything to report, but it is back.
okay. The electrical part here, how we coming on that?
That's Dennis.
Still working on the drawing for that.
Okay.
Did she get a hold of you or anything?
Yeah, Betsy dropped off the map, but she had everything inside. I was hoping for the trailers on the streets. And I contacted her and she thought she could find it. I haven't heard from her yet.
So she only gave you the ones that were on the inside?
Yes, I was looking more for the trailers on the
The
streets.
trailers on the curb?
Yes.
I could tell you that the white lines are still out there. Anyways,
Code enforcement officer, we're gonna talk about that at some point, is it? Right, Rob, is that?
Probably executive session.
Yeah.
Okay. our annual trash pickup.
Oh,
Clean up.
are you really gonna do it?
Absolutely. So why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't we do it?
We're getting old, that's why.
We're gonna come out of it, have a good day.
When you go to Florida, don't you? In April?
Yeah, just for Easter.
When did you?
We can talk about that.
You should try to do it around, there's, some kind of day in May or something. Environmental cleanup day.
He usually does April because, let him tell you why we do it in April.
Well, you do it,
No,
well, you do it early April because you can see the trash. If you wait till the end of April, the grass starts to grow. And now you can't really see the trash because my man's a trash pickup. You can't see the trash in the grass as well. So, but anyway, I'm gonna be out of town, 16th to the 19th, so I have to probably be out. So
After that?
I would think, but we can talk about it.
All right.
Am I right? Dave, on the grass, it's tough to find trash. Sometimes hidden in the grass, the higher the
Yeah.
grass gets.
The worst spots, which I don't cover, are kind of on the east side of town, because the wind around here is from the west.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
over the
Across from
edges and
McDonald's?
down below, I don't go running through the woods. So,
Where's that, I'm sorry?
Yeah, on the east side.
On the
no,
east
it's not nursery. What's it? Girard's?
West Street?
No, it's Nursery Road ends up
That's right.
Haggard, no, Haggard.
Haggard.
Hey, oh,
It's on the east side of Haggard. There's that little grass spot.
grass spot.
And then there's a kind of a dip. There's all kinds of stuff.
We've never had anybody on there before.
Well, we did one time, someone said it was a lot of trash, we sent somebody over, they really didn't find a lot of trash, so we had.
No, there was, yesterday, there was plenty there.
There was that, oh.
You need to ride over there, we'll give you a ride.
You got, yeah, you can't, it's not visible. It's
Down, okay,
down over there.
that's all I got to say.
That's all? Jeff?
I was just curious about, when they had the lines redone after the streets were resurfaced. We did the parking, because that's what we were in, that's what we're in control of, we're able to do. Is there anything from like PennDOT, like the warranty on that, to have them come back out and do around the traffic lights and what they were responsible for?
We can call and find out.
You mean the new traffic lights, what's went around the dirt and all that?
Well, yeah, but just where like the stop, stop lines or bars, whatever you wanna call them are, and then, you know, the lanes and the turning arrows, like say by.
Oh, okay.
People don't use those stop bar lanes.
Yeah.
What up? There's only like 30% of it left. So, yeah, I was just curious, I know that we had to wait for them, their warranty, I just didn't know if we could follow up with them.
Okay. Doc?
Now, to go along with what Greg was talking about, as far as these false alarms, I was wondering if we couldn't send a letter out to the boroughs and townships, asking them if they would consider passing an ordinance like we have in July.
So they don't have anything, Greg?
The last I knew, Fairview did not. I don't know about the township. Never really addressed it, but I don't believe so.
You're saying Girard Township doesn't have anything?
Not to my knowledge.
Mill Creek Township does.
Yeah, sure do. Okay.
Just asking them to consider it, that's all. You know, I'm not telling them they have to. Just asking if they would consider it
Right.
at the municipality.
It's a shame if we do this and we have this in place, but we don't enforce it, because I know in Mill Creek, even at the hospital, if you got 3 at the hospital, you'd get a letter and you'd get a fine. That's what I'm saying, I understand. By asking them to consider this, I just wish there was some way to find out of a way to enforce it. I'm not saying $500 or anything like that. That's not what, you know. But when you're asking these people to do this, then is somebody gonna watch this and send a letter out and say, this is your 3rd time?
Well, it should go up after the 3rd time, $800, 4th time more. If each time, if you have more than three false alarms in a year, you should start paying more money. I mean, it is,
Yeah.
I can add
They have
to
a
that,
better place to go.
Yeah,
yeah, the new quality of life ordinance that we
Yeah.
passed, false alarms actually fall under that. So we can issue a quality life fine for that. The first time it's $50, second time is 100, third time is 200, and then it stays at 200 for anything after that. But yeah, they have to have 3 false alarms within a year,
it
anything
has to
over
be the
that.
boroughs though.
Yeah, that's for the borough, so if
Right.
you're looking to pitch something to Girard Township or Fairview,
As
you
an
could actually show
example,
them that ordinance and where they can just issue a ticket and don't have to send something directly to the magistrate.
If I understand right, then we had 0.
We get false alarms, we did not have any.
So that could be a point that you can make to them, that we have an ordinance and we don't have them. Have that problem.
They
okay,
correct them to avoid the fine.
to avoid,
It's like places where they have like a cord that they pull that they accidentally or.
We have those responses every day, and so many of those, we don't know what the cause is until we arrive. We don't even know the gender of the person or the age sometimes. All we know is this alarm company has received a first alert alarm, and we have to go. Very, very common at Dover Village, right behind the fire station. Very common. We actually had a couple, maybe 3 in the last 2 days there. But Girard is unusual. We have multiple senior centers here. Doverville, Miles Village, I'm sorry. The Elk Valley Manor, Martin's Landing. It's unusual to have that many seniors in one municipality. And those are the majority of our calls. They're also the majority of our, what are called first alert buttons, if you will, on the net. Many of those are false alarms.
did not repeat up to 3 times. Or are they?
I think Elk Valley Manor would be one of those. That's in the township.
Yeah, I know.
But Elk Valley Manor is a huge offender of that,
Okay.
those kind of calls.
Ones in the borough, the fire department can bring the records into us and we can actually enforce the quality of life here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, well, we will, yes, that's good information.
Yeah,
And that ordinance is actually better than the ones we passed several years ago, so yes. We'll go with that.
Anything else, John? No? Okay. Do you have anything?
Of course I do.
Oh.
I wanted to let everybody know that the chamber, Girard and Lake City, purchased 50 of those planting tubs for the Main Street. A couple other businesses asked for some as well, so those were purchased through the chamber. Dennis might have you help us fill those with some of our mulch or coordinate that this spring to give those out to the residents. And also through Jeff Orr and Jeannie and a couple people on council, we are working diligently with Joe now to get some permission to move Dan Rice to Girard. So I do think that's going to come to fruition. We're just working on the paperwork. Timeline, I'm hoping June or July, disinterment and then reinterment around Dan Rice Days. So that's our plan, but it sounds like it might come to fruition. That's all I have.
Okay. Mark?
And just getting back to Jeff's question or comment on the line painting, are we talking about a problem where we think it's in a warranty period and it's effective, or just longer term maintenance?
I just know before I was on council, we talked about it, after that first year, and it all got, a lot of it was removed. You all mentioned there was a warranty on it, but it would, take for them time to be able to come back and go. And so we painted like parking, lines there, but that's why I was just following up. Is there still a warranty under it, or, do we still have something that's in the works for them to come back and replace the work that they did?
Rob, the ones that were damaged, we talked about, did they come back and fix those?
The ones that the borough paid for, Yes, they've all been replaced.
Okay. So you're talking about just other ones? that
Correct.
had- Okay.
Yeah.
My only comment would be, once we're beyond that warranty period, the line painting associated with a traffic signal permit, such as stop bars and turning arrows and lane lines, are the responsibility of the borough, because we are the permit holder for the signal. So if we're talking about stop bar lines and turning arrows and turn lanes, things like that, pavement markings, that's on the borough. That's all I have.
Okay. Joe,
Hi, I have nothing at the moment.
okay. If there's nothing else, then we'll take a 5-minute break. The executive session, legal matters. For legal matters. That's it.